Hey guys, welcome back to Film Feud. My name is Jeff.
Lex.
You know my name, it's Juan, and today we have some really great Disney iconic films. Lex, who is on our lineup?
It's going to be Pocahontas and Mulan today.
Alright, let's start off with Pocahontas. Jeff, you look like you're eager to speak. Say something.
I'm ready. Alright, so one thing I think that sets Pocahontas.
There's a Freudian slip right away.
No.
Folks, I think the game is rigged.
I swear it's not. Okay, so
Pocahontas.
what sets Pocahontas apart is the story is very real. Like, I don't know, something about it gives it more of a real
It
feel.
applies to today.
Like, yeah,
it even applies to today.
Yeah.
And like you feel that like that sense of like racism and like war and conflict, it like is just as prevalent in today's world as it is in like during, I suppose it's like the 1800s or
Yeah.
1700s, 1500s, something like that.
Probably like that. Like,
It really, well, I guess it depends. I don't know how like conscious they were of making like what really happened. I think the whole thing happened during the 1500s.
The idea of that, of like settlers, people from England coming over is also real, like history, kinda. Like, the history's there, it's
there.
The events, kinda.
Yeah, they're a little bit mixed up. Like, it's not. This is not really historically accurate. They just use historical people in the movie, but it's not accurate really at all.
But it's a good story, and that's all that matters.
Yeah,
it's a good story.
It tells a good story, and the themes are like realistic.
Yes.
Because it deals with like racism and like the other factor.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
That's something these both movies have, is a great message behind them.
That's really true. And they have a lot of parallels. Like, they both sort of have that like other message to a lesser extent in Mulan than in Pocahontas, but like, it's still there. Like the idea is still there.
The idea of like you fear what you don't know, what you don't understand.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know what the other side was gonna do.
Yeah.
Like they had to prepare for the worst, and that brought out the worst in them.
Exactly.
So I think that was an interesting concept that they explored.
Yeah. And then in Mulan, it's a little bit different, where it's like Mulan herself is the other. Like, she doesn't operate under the same like social norms as everyone else. She's a little bit like different.
We'll get to Mulan later.
Yeah.
I think also Pocahontas has a bit of a more serious tone than Mulan.
See, I disagree.
I feel like there's not a lot of comedy in Pocahontas.
I feel like I disagree. I feel like there's more comedy in Pocahontas. I feel like Pocahontas is a little bit more lighthearted. Like, it has its serious moments and like serious songs. But like, I feel like the whole interaction with like Miko and then like John Smith himself is sort of funny, and then like the interactions with all like the soldiers is sort of funny. I feel like with like Mulan, like there are definitely funny moments, but like the premise is like a lot more serious than Mulan.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. But
sorry, I'm gonna have to side with Jeff.
I feel so
didn't
different.
feel that way.
I think Mulan is a lot more
like
lighthearted. But I see exactly.
Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I felt the themes more like with Mulan. That like, do you really get that this hard shit is going down?
Yeah.
And then with Pocahontas, like, shit's going down and you know what's happening, but like
it's not so.
It's like in the back of your mind.
Yeah, it never really gets that serious. Like, it doesn't really get dark where it could go. There's a clear part when they're about to fight that could go dark, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
it stays like at this what it's normally been. But I think
that level.
What I think easily gives Mulan more of a comedic, like more comedic elements is
Eddie
the
Murphy.
sidekick. Yes, we'll get to that, but. Pocahontas, the sidekicks, her kind of sidekicks are like the animals, like
Miko and Flick. Yeah.
They're there. They're there for like comedic,
comedic relief.
Yeah. But I don't think theirs hits as much as Mushu's does.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it helps that like that Mushu actually talks, and
that's true.
The animals don't talk. And,
And it's Eddie Murphy. So.
And it's Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Like, he is a comedian. He's supposed to be funny.
So great. Yeah.
Like, that's the whole point. But yeah, I mean, Pocahontas is really good because it does touch on like a lot of like serious issues, and it's more. it's more historic than Mulan in the way that like Pocahontas was a real person, whereas Mulan was a legend, but like not necessarily a real person. Like it's so far gone that like it's not even, no one's even sure. Yeah. And then like Pocahontas like can be traced back. So
to actually actually happening, really.
Yeah, like it actually happening.
And I think what you said about Pocahontas really hitting on racism was there more than I remember it being.
I think it's because when you're a kid, it goes over your head. But like when you're sitting down as an adult and you're like, well, damn, this shit's getting real, and they really hate each other, and like you can really see like the whole like divide is so much there.
The whole savage term that's in our lives, and they kind of comment on how that is used. Yeah.
And like ignorant and like heathens, like that sort of thing.
Which I like. I like how it was made so long ago and it was hitting on that then. And
like that.
Something like that is so relevant now.
Yeah, it's so applicable, which is crazy. Because you're like, wow, you think we would have move forward more, but we really haven't. It just sort of transferred over to different like races and different like forms of people. It's just not. I mean, that's a whole nother issue.
That's a whole other. That's a whole other show. Trying to think what else we could say about Pocahontas.
It's definitely more of a love story.
Yes.
As opposed to Mulan.
The relationship aspect is there a lot more than in Mulan.
Like I was telling these guys, I thought it really reminded me of like a West Side Story, where you have like the forbidden love between
Romeo and Juliet type deal.
Romeo and Juliet, things like that.
Yeah. But like regardless, they're both like they're powerful in their own ways. I feel like with Mulan, like she made a conscious decision to be like, hey, I'm gonna go to war and fight for my dad and myself and all these people and it's gonna be great. But like with Pocahontas, she was just sort of thrust into it. I don't know which makes one more of a heroine versus the other. Yeah. But like I feel like Pocahontas just dealt with what she had to deal with like a normal person. Like she was just thrown into it, so she dealt with it.
She did, yeah.
And then like with Mulan, it was more like a bravery thing where she went out and she like made a conscious decision to actually go forward and like save everybody.
Yeah.
So like
Pocahontas seemed more like, I don't know if I want to say wise, but she seemed like she seemed like she knew. I don't know. I can't think of the word like of how to explain it. But it seemed like she knew more of what was going on.
Well, I think it's because she was more in touch like with like everything, like nature and like the spirit of like that she realized that everything was connected.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of nice because that goes back to like Native American beliefs where it's like everything is connected, like everything is like in this giant circle. So it's kind of nice that they like put that in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
I think Mulan, I mean, she's also a heroine in her own way, but not in the same way that Pocahontas is. She just sort of like went with her gut feeling and thought what was right. Yeah. Whereas you were saying Pocahontas sort of like was in touch with nature and like was really connected to it.
Yeah.
So I think they're two very interesting takes on what a heroine is.
Yeah. I think they're just as good as each other, but like they're different in their own ways.
Yeah.
And like with Pocahontas, it's kind of nice because like I think that's why she seems wiser because she realizes that everything, even though people look different and like and it's kind of like in what Colors of the Wind?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and like where like she's like every rock, tree, and creature, and like it's that sort of thing where she knows that everything has its own like life to it.
Yeah.
Even if you look different, even if you're not actually like an embodiment of something, you actually speak like it's there. Like you still have like a soul. You still have all these pieces that connect everything.
Yeah, I agree. And for her to realize that at such like a young age, she's almost as wise as her father. You can really tell that she...
Or Grandmother Willow.
Grandmother, yeah. Tree spirit.
The tree. Who's apparently at least 200 years old.
That's historically accurate, right?
Yeah,
that tree was there. It's still there. You can go find it.
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
Yeah.
You could try.
Yeah.
You're just gonna walk by like...
all our viewers now are gonna try to find that tree.
Yeah.
They'll be in the woods just trying to talk. Are you the tree?
Are you the tree?
That's okay, take your time. Are you the tree?
Grandma, take your time. We're 200 years. I'll wait.
You're rather old, yeah, so... Even more so now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's all I could really think about for Pocahontas. You guys have something else to say?
I'm good.
I think I'm good with Pocahontas.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to move on to Mulan?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Mulan.
Oh man. See, I don't know if you can already tell, but I like Mulan a lot. I think Mulan may be one of my favorite Disney movies,
Oh,
along with
so
Disney
good.
princesses as well.
Yeah.
She's considered a princess.
She is.
In her own sense.
She's in the official Disney lineup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the story of Mulan is great, and the message as well is very strong. It's very like, it's kind of like woman empowering. Is that the word?
Yeah, it's like girl power,
Yeah.
but like it's sort of like feministic, in a way. But it's not like
in a negative.
it's not in a, like, and I don't want to say like in a negative way, but like there are like a lot of like representation of like feminism and like just fuck all men sort of
Yeah.
thing. But in this, it's not like that. It's a very like
it's not. It doesn't
women
hit on
just
make
standing
fun
on her own 2 feet sort of thing without
kicks ass at it as well.
and like with the help of men, but not like as the most importance. And they're like in supporting roles. sort of
Yeah,
thing.
like it doesn't make men look like weak, like I don't know,
Like
weak, stupid.
or anything like that.
'Cause
Like
you have
it's
Shin
very,
and
it's a very
Shang.
Shang.
There we go.
It's a very like equal
Oh,
balance.
Yeah,
So,
because you have the goofy ones, then you have someone like him, like Lee,
Lee
like,
who's leading.
Yeah, he's really strong.
Yeah.
He's like kind of like the opposite of Mulan in a way.
She's like, it's yin and yang.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
Like she goes on instinct more and like her gut feeling, and he goes by like strategy and things like that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
It's really how you would say it. Yeah.
That's how it goes. And I feel like I don't know, Mulan is just such a good story. One thing I didn't touch on with Pocahontas, but it also applies to Mulan as well, that the music is really good.
Yes.
But the music, it like just fits everything so well.
I think both movies have iconic music.
Yeah.
The songs are really good, but also
Scores,
the score.
yeah.
The scores
so
are really
good.
distinct for both.
Yeah.
You could probably listen to the score, not even just the song, but the score, and really you could be able to narrow it down to what movie that probably is.
Yeah, I think they're so iconic at this point, especially that like you just even hear the melody and you're like, yes, I know where that's from. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, because these are like top tier, because they're like considered like Disney princesses. They're in the official lineup, so it's like everyone knows these movies, even if they really haven't watched them.
Yeah.
Like, they at least know the songs.
Yeah.
So it's like it's that kind of like everyone just sort of knows it. It's like
That's
universal.
what made me remember Pocahontas, although I haven't seen it in such a long time. But as soon as I heard the songs, it kind of threw me back. Like, okay, yeah, I do remember seeing this. Okay, I remember that from the song, maybe reminded me about
everything.
Yeah,
because the songs really touch on like really like hard hitting kind of topics, especially like especially when you look at the lyrics. They all like have their own like kind of message to them, which is like, I mean, whether it's good or bad, it depends.
Even if it's a fun song, the message is still there. Like, you can still find it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say.
It's fine.
I mean, they both have really good songs. Mulan's songs really hit for me. I don't know, something about those songs, especially like there's like two off the top of my head that I can think that really stick out, and it's something that really like reminded me of my childhood a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's why Mulan hits for me a little bit more. I don't know. I just there's a few songs there that just kind of hit. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Mulan is like the songs really have to deal with like how like men view women, and then like how like women specifically in Chinese society, but like in general it applies like universally, like how women are looked at in society as a whole. And I feel like Mulan is more of like a feminist movie than Pocahontas is. Like Mulan is trying to be more of a feminist movie.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely there more, a lot more.
Whereas like Pocahontas, I think, is kind of like trying to.
It's like low-key feminist.
Yeah, and it's trying to deal with more of like racism and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think on that a lot more than
then I feel like Mulan is really like an empowering kind of movie.
Yeah, for girls.
For girls, yeah, it's like a girl power sort of thing.
And it works. I mean, I'm not a girl, but even young, that movie made me excited. Like that pumps me up to stand for my country, and I'm not even in China, so hey.
It's like cool. We all so we like China now because it's fucking great. And, I mean, everything comes from China, so I guess we better like it.
Yeah, right?
So.
Basically.
Come from China?
I mean, I didn't come from China.
Basically.
But everything that's surrounding us currently is probably from China.
Probably.
We hit on earlier how the comedy was really there for Mulan, too. Like, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, yeah.
He's so funny. I mean, Mulan, for me, has like a few laugh out loud moments. Still,
it does. It does. Even yep, that's so true. It really is. Eddie Murphy really does make that comedy.
He brings his comedy style like to the role, and it really works.
Yeah, it is really great. And he really brings a lot of life to the character, I think.
He does. He really does. Because Mushu could just be any. That character could have been like, I don't know, not as significant as it was, but Eddie Murphy, I feel like really helped bring that character like to give it more of a role and more noticeable.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah. And
I think it could have gone either way, I think, because like they could have gone funny with it, but they could have easily gone serious, and like Eddie Murphy wouldn't have been playing someone serious.
Yeah, no.
So it just wouldn't have happened. They would have gotten someone else, but he makes the film a lot lighter because. Which is needed because the topic of war and like
it could be dark.
Destruction and like there's like death all around that
Yeah, there's a lot of like dark like things that you see a lot of like death.
There are like dark themes. Like there are in Pocahontas too, but I think particularly in Mulan because like you don't see the blood and you don't see the killing, but like it's implied like when the Huns like shoot that one messenger instead of like like that's
how many messages? How many people does
that is dark.
Deliver a message?
Like
that was pretty dark.
Yeah, and that's like needless killing. You don't need it. You didn't need to kill that guy.
I kind of like that though. I like that like hints at dark.
Yeah.
Like it's not overpowering.
Which
it's mainly
I agree, and I think that's nice.
Sprinkles of dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Disney did that well. Like they played it off really well because like that is the reality of war, and that is the reality of these people that like these guys are like slaughtering like thousands of people just to get to this one guy.
Yep.
So
they hit that really well. Yeah. That aspect, I think, really well. As we mentioned before, how Pocahontas focuses more on a relationship. Like, there's more romantic elements to that. Yeah. But Mulan, it's there, like, it's kinda.
It's hinted at very smallly.
Especially at the very end.
The very, very end.
But the
last 2 minutes.
Yeah, the last 2 minutes. But the main story is Mulan, like, kind of trying to regain back her, like, to get rid of the shame and like
regain her honor, regain her family's like trust, and really
capture the Avatar.
Yeah, exactly. She's going after the Avatar, and you better watch out, buddy.
This entire movie is like a Zuko, like it's like a Zuko joke now.
With firebend. That's why I always have to say honor, because every time I say honor, it just reminds me of Zuko. I can't help but think of him. Yep. I was like, shit, I'm gonna think of Zuko.
Zuko, yeah. I mean, you have Mushu and there's fire there, so.
Mushu's gonna capture the Avatar. It's decided.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. But yeah, I thought that was really cool how a lot of it's one of the few Disney princess movies in a way that isn't focused on a relationship.
Yeah.
Really. Like, it's more about Mulan's growth as a woman, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel that's true. And, like, she even admits in the movie that she wasn't really doing it for her family, she was just doing it for herself.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, could sound sort of selfish, but, like, I don't think it's, like, not intended that way.
It didn't come off as selfish.
Yeah, it's not intended that way.
Especially the situation that she was in at the time.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's kind of like a dire situation. And, like, you always want to, like, be able to look in the mirror and be like, I like who I am.
When other people's lives are on the line, it's not selfish anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. Man, what else is there?
The animation is really good.
Yeah, it has a distinct style, just like Pocahontas. It's like its own style.
Both of them have their own style. Like I think
very unique style.
Yeah, they're both very unique because like you have Pocahontas where that's very like watercolory and very like painted looking, like canvasy, and then you have like Mulan that's very like swirly and like very calligraphy.
Doesn't that kind of remind you like how the smoke, like for example, it's all calligraphy, like swirly. Yeah. Doesn't that kind of remind you of Asian culture?
It does. I think that's what they're trying to get across.
And I like that. I like how the art is like that culture. Like it's trying to capture that culture. I think Pocahontas does that well too. I feel like watercolor kind of. I don't know how to like put that together as much as like the Asian culture.
Like I think
I could see it. Like
I think they tried to do that more with Mulan because like you are in like China. That's a very like distinct cultural kind of background to have, and like so is like being like Native American. But I feel like that's like I don't want to say it's less, but I think it's less prominent
Yeah.
now. So like you have a lot less people to find to go off of, like to actually be like, what's your culture, what's your heritage,
Yeah.
what's all this stuff, like. So I feel like there's like less of that, and I think the watercolor works well though. It's very pretty.
It is very pretty. Even the background is very pretty.
Yeah, the background's really pretty, and it's very unique to Disney. Like you don't see that really in like any other kind of movies, but also like just Disney in and of itself. Like, and to think that that's hand drawn, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah, like it looks like it's like a painted.
Yeah, it does look like it's like a painting.
It's very nice. Yeah.
And they use colors really well too. You can just really, the colors stick out. Especially I feel like this a lot more in Pocahontas. There's a lot more use of colors.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in China it's a lot of like greens, reds.
Yeah.
Like yellows.
Swirls.
Swirls.
That's one of my favorite about Mulan is how that looks.
I agree. There's so many instances where that happens.
And it's in almost every scene. There's something like
there's so many.
It's kind of all.
It's really cool. Like I want to know how if they sat around a table and someone pitched that and they're like, there needs to be swirls.
Yeah.
Like
this is what the smoke's gonna look like.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Like it needs to look like it's like calligraphy. It's cool. Like it's a really cool, like it's a nice detail.
It is.
Yeah, it's a nice attention to detail.
Just the art style itself you can pick apart from the movies. That separates them as well.
Yeah, which is really cool. I like that both of these movies are like they're like different ethnic like backgrounds.
Yeah,
which is cool.
They do that really well, I think, with ethnic backgrounds, and I think
I feel like these are the less like whitewashed.
Sure,
yeah, which is nice because like Pocahontas, it's really hard to like. I mean, you could because they whitewash like Jasmine a lot because like she's supposed to be Arabic.
Oh, yeah, they do.
But like I like that they didn't do that with Pocahontas. Like she's obviously like dark skinned, and which is nice. And like Mulan is like supposed to be white, but like they could have like made her look more Americanized or more like North American in general.
Yeah.
Or even European, they could have made her look. So like, I like that it's not like uber whitewash.
Yeah, you can really tell the ethnic like background of each character.
Yeah, it's more distinctive. Like I'm sure it could be better. But like
it could have.
Yeah,
you could tell,
like,
but it's fine how it is.
Yeah,
you can tell.
Like you realize that they aren't like traditionally white characters.
Yeah,
like that they have their own like distinct backgrounds, and they're from like because I mean obviously like they say Indians, which isn't PC, obviously. But, like,
not anymore.
Not anymore. Like Indians are like people from India.
Yeah,
not Native Americans.
Yeah,
but like.
That was a better term than savages. So.
Well, yeah. But like that's kind of okay, like to say for the time.
Especially
like,
the time, you have to waste some time.
Like now, it's not okay to say that, but like during then, like that's what they would have said.
Yeah,
and so like it's fine to say that now.
You talking about savages or Indians?
Indians, not savages.
Oh, okay.
But that's true.
I was like, what?
That's true as well, though.
Yeah.
Like they said that then as well.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah. I don't really have much else to say. I feel like I got what I want to say across.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've said my piece, so I think it's time to begin the festivities.
All right.
So
everyone's favorite part.
We're gonna go this way in the line, and I'll be last. Jeff, start us off.
All right. I think it was easy to tell from the beginning where I was going.
It's always easy to tell with you.
I know. I know because we haven't picked anything like really hard.
You basically just say it at the beginning.
It's hard, especially I know because I haven't really picked anything that I don't. Love,
or even like remotely like.
Yeah. I know. Well, as I was saying, I think if you obviously see where my pick is going, and that's from Mulan.
Mine's gonna be Mulan.
Fine, it's all to you.
Well, you guys are in for a surprise.
I'll get the broom.
Mulan.
Yeah. Sweeping it out again. At least you've had one, that's all that matters.
Yes, eventually I think we'll get to ones that...
We're bad at this. We're picking movies.
I promise. It's gonna get really different.
It's because we're too similar people.
Oh.
Like, I think that's why. Like, we have similar tastes and like...
And I feel like we keep picking movies that I love.
I feel that way too,
Once
though.
we find things that I haven't, I feel like I've seen everything that we've done so far. So once we find movies that I haven't really seen, like there's a few matchups that I've seen on your list that I haven't seen either. So I don't know. I feel like for that it'll be more hard to tell.
Yeah, I think so. I think with these two that like we've seen them multiple times. In a way, I think that's better because like we have them like marinated. Oh, I'm sorry, Pocahontas. I really like you.
I honestly thought you would pick Pocahontas
Really?
until we started watching the movies. Yeah, from like yesterday, I don't know, I just had a feeling.
I thought you were arguing for it. I thought you were gonna pick
Pocahontas?
And I was like,
No.
You're probably gonna
No,
So we can blame Lex for
Oh, fuck you guys. Fuck you. You could have easily have picked Pocahontas, both of you.
I can't. It would hurt me too much.
See, I think, I don't know. I just like Mulan a little bit better. I like the music in Mulan. I mean, not that I don't like the music in Pocahontas, but there's just something about Mulan that gets me. I just like it a whole lot. And I like that it doesn't completely focus on romance.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Like, that doesn't happen very often in any movie, much less Disney movies.
Disney, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, maybe next week there'll be there was kind of a feud a little bit earlier.
A little bit, yeah.
So,
I mean, we had a disagreement.
Yeah.
Which
It was
I mean,
there.
That counts, right?
That counts.
Well, maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully.
Anyway, thank you guys again for joining us this week. Be sure to like our Facebook page and comment, subscribe, do all that fun
stuff.
jazz.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next week.
See you next year, guys.
See ya.